back to the channel. Today's actually going to be a multi-day vlog. What do I mean by that? Well, basically, we've got a huge hurricane coming, Hurricane Florence. I'm sure you guys have heard of it all over the news. And that's coming in the next day or two. So I'm just going to kind of film updates throughout the hurricane. Now, the Charlotte region is not supposed to get a direct hit, but I don't know, guys, the storm's gonna be pretty wicked, and last time I checked it was a Category 5. It's gonna hit the Carolinas, we just don't know where it is. So in preparation for that, you know, I'm filling up all my cars, and the truck's full, Corvette's full. I'm gonna fill up the SS, so that's why we're in it today. And I also just sold a package on eBay, so to try to beat the storm coming in, I'm gonna get this package out. I unfortunately think the guy is not going to get it anytime soon. I mean, we'll see. I just don't know when the post office will actually shut down. It's end of day Tuesday, and at this point, I just don't know when they will shut down, because the hurricane's supposed to get here Thursday. So it might. Hopefully, the package gets out of here before the storm gets here. But anyway, just thought I'd film a little bit, and since we're in the car, and we got some good content coming up. We're gonna be continuing a couple projects on the Corvette. I think we've got some more drag racing stuff. Yeah, a few mods for that, and so that's coming up. We'll also have the Auto Fair show that would have been last Friday's video, so that'll be coming up. And yeah, so you guys should have a lot of good content coming, and I think what we're going to do is we're going to focus on the Corvette for a couple more weeks. Then we're going to focus on the SS for a couple weeks. Then we're going to get back to the Corvette, because I've got a couple mods I want to do before that half-mile event in October. That's coming up, I mean, it's middle of September now, so it's not that far away. It's about a month away, actually. A month and a couple weeks. A month and a week, so about 5 weeks away. But I got a couple mods I want to do for that. So, and then we're gonna go back to the Corvette. We got a couple mods to do on that, and that will end up in an accumulation of a new dyno day, because I'm gonna have to get the car retuned, and so that's kind of the direct future of the channel in the next couple months. So for that half-mile event, you know, we're gonna want to be doing some testing. So I think we're gonna take the SS and Corvette up to the 8th mile up at Mooresville. I might hold off another couple weeks, just because it's still freaking hot. The Auto Fair this past weekend, it was super hot, guys. It was like 95 degrees on Saturday, and Sunday was maybe a little bit cooler, but still very warm. And you know, so we're not at boost weather just yet. Probably got to wait another month, and you know, as a matter of fact, that half mile in October, that might be like prime boost weather season. So hopefully it's pretty cool weather-wise. Get some good PSI coming out of the blowers. But yeah, so we're gonna do some testing for the half mile, specifically with Corvette. So probably go up to Mooresville in the Corvette. I think I want to take this car, the SS, just test a couple things out. Alright guys, as you can see, we're at the post office. I just checked my P.O. box, didn't get anything from you guys, but I did have a real quick update. Previous owner hasn't gotten any speeding tickets or, you know, toll violations in Maryland. That's one good thing. I did get another notification that he hasn't paid that bill. We're gonna head up to the gas station and just top off. Now, some of you guys might be saying like, oh, you know, the hurricanes aren't gonna be anywhere near you. You know, and why are you filling up? It's not the fact that we're going to be impacted by the hurricane. It's the fact that we may not be able to get gas or power for several weeks. When Hurricane Hugo came through the Charlotte area in the late 80s, it knocked over tens of thousands of trees, and they didn't restore power for over 2 weeks in the city of Charlotte. I live in rural Charlotte, so we're not even near the core of, you know, the Charlotte like service area with power lines and Duke Energy and all that. So that's one thing. And then the other thing is, last time a hurricane came through here, basically like the pipelines and stuff closed down and the refineries closed down. I mean, that stuff's in Texas, but all that infrastructure wasn't running, and we had a gas shortage. So it's very easy for there to be a gas shortage in the southeast during a hurricane. I don't know why it happens, but it happens pretty much all of the time. And it might be the fact that just there's a lot of demand with, you know, people gassing up like I am. But I just want to be prepared in case we don't have power for a week and I need to get in the car and drive somewhere. So we're gonna have all the cars filled up, ready to go. Not that I'm gonna be evacuating or anything like that, but just like the old Boy Scout saying is, be prepared. So let's head up to the gas station and probably close this out for today, and I'll pick this up during the storm, and we'll see how bad it gets here. Oh, I just forgot one more thing. So I actually went to the grocery store just to pick up some regular groceries. I wasn't buying milk, bread, and all that good stuff. But they were completely sold out of milk, completely sold out of eggs, completely sold out of bread, and there was zero water in the store. They were sold out, everything from the like office water cooler jugs, those 5 or 10 gallon jug waters, all the way to the bottled water. Everything was sold out. So I don't know if people are just freaking out because it's a big storm, but you know, like I said, it's just crazy how strong of a reaction that this particular storm is, you know, setting in the Charlotte area. And I saw it all over Charlotte Observer that, yeah, you know, stores are running out of food and supplies, and they're like, don't panic, but people are panicking anyway. So it's just another thing to add. So just another interesting update for our hurricane preparation. All right, guys, here's our first Hurricane Florence update. As you guys can see behind me, I got the Corvette up in the air. I also got all the stuff off the floor. I also brought in the trash cans and all of our porch stuff. Basically, we were just trying to get everything that could be a projectile, you know, out from the wind and rain and into the garage. And as you guys know, I normally don't have my trash cans in here, but, and also I got up, you know, all the equipment and tools and stuff that is water damageable up off the floor. So we were expecting 10 to 15 inches of rain over the last couple days. It is Sunday today, and actually it's been raining nonstop since Friday night. So it's been okay for weather. I'll actually open up the garage door, but it's just been raining a lot. We had a lot of wind yesterday. Today, as you guys can see, we're just getting a ton of rain. You know, we got some water piled up in the yard over here, but just a lot of rain. That's really all that's been happening. So that's kind of the update for the storm. You know, when they were starting to forecast that 10 to 15 inches of rain, really wasn't sure, because we built our house here just over 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, and we haven't had a major storm come through. So it was hard to tell. It's like, you know, we've had thunderstorms and stuff like that. We've had the yard and like the drain lines and all that between the properties. That stuff is all like flooded over before, but we never had a like 24 to 48 hour storm just continuously dumping rain for that extended length of time. And you know, I didn't know what to expect, so we kind of prepared, I guess, if you want to say that. You know, just bringing everything in, getting the Corvette up in the air. And if it really got bad, I was just going to put the SS and the Lexus up on jack stands with my race ramps up there and get both of those cars as high as I could. But, you know, the back of our property is elevated. We've got a little like drainage moat in the back going to a storm drain. So if it was going to flood, it would probably come from the back going forward. Yes, the driveway's flat, but there's a storm drain. There's 2 storm drains in our cul-de-sac, so just an update there. And like I was saying, you know, we just didn't know what to expect with that crazy amount of rain. And I also want to show you the radar. All right, guys, here's a radar shot of the Carolinas. I'm not sure if you'll be able to focus on that. You know, we have Charlotte like right in the middle here. So we're right in the middle of this huge storm. And as you guys can see, that's from South Carolina to North Carolina border, from the Outer Banks all the way to Tennessee over here past Asheville. So the storm has taken up the entire state. And we've been getting rain for the past 2 days, just simply The storm is literally, it's only moving like 2 miles an hour, so we're just getting dumped on from the rain rotation. So the hurricane came on shore outside of Wilmington, North Carolina as a hurricane category 1. And then once it traveled inland along that North Carolina-South Carolina border around northern Myrtle Beach, became a tropical storm, and now it might be just a depression. But anyway, the coast kept getting those outer rain bands of, a ton of those strong, like, the northeastern edge of the storm is always the strongest part. The coast just got pummeled. First they got hit by the hurricane, and then as it moved inland, they got hit by those northeastern rain bands. And I think I saw some water, like 30 inches of rain. Like, that's over 2 feet. 2 feet of rain, and all the rivers and streams, all of them in North Carolina. Like, even the ones up in the mountains are gonna have flooding because this storm is huge. It's quite simply the entire size of North and South Carolina, which is a pretty big state, 2 states, North and South, East and West. So just a huge storm. And if you guys, I'll be probably publishing this later next week, so keep the Carolinas in your thoughts, and just pray everyone gets through the hurricane. And then the worst part after that is actually be all the rain that's left behind and the flooding from the rivers and lakes. We live off the west side of Lake Norman here in the Charlotte area, and they actually dropped all of the Catawba River reservoirs. I think there's 4 or 5 of them. Each lake they dropped by 2 feet. So they've been, this is Duke Energy, they've been releasing 2 feet of water in the entire chain of the lakes. I think it started like Lake Hickory, there's another lake, Lake Norman, and then Lake Wiley, and then there's a 5th or 6th lake down in like central South Carolina. So a lot of rain, we're trying to prevent flooding, but the hurricane is just the first part. Like I was saying, this flooding is going to be all over North Carolina. Thankfully, we've been fairly safe, and I did actually go out in the storm last night. Wasn't my plan, but a guy saw my ad for my C6 Corvette rear diff, the stock one that came, so the 2005 diff. That 2005 diff is a 1 of 1 year. 2004, the C5s use a different diff. The 2006 and newer C6 Corvettes use a different diff. So 2005 was a 1 year only diff. The guy was selling his car on Monday, and he blew up the diff like Saturday morning or Friday night. Saw my post, and he lives out in the Outer Banks. Now, thankfully, he lived in the northern Outer Banks, like Kill Devil's Hill area, and so his house didn't get really hit by the hurricane or anything, but he needed the diff, and I was like, I wasn't going to go out in this stuff. So I met him about an hour from here, and he drove over 5 hours to get here, pick up the diff, and drive 5 hours back home last night. And we met at 9 p.m. So he probably didn't get home until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And I hope he got that diff installed, because he was selling, the truck to pick up the car was coming tomorrow. So he's probably been busy slamming that thing back together. But so yeah, I did go out in the storm, drove about an hour in it. I stuck with the interstates just because I didn't want to really take a lot of side streets. And Charlotte has been hit pretty hard with a lot of downed trees and stuff. So, I thankfully didn't run any of that. There were some branches and debris and stuff, but nothing too crazy. So I have gone out in it. I did sell the diff. Now, it was so late last night, I was going to film it, but there was really no point. I ended up sitting there for like an hour, and I didn't get home until like almost 11. So, but just another, so when we finally get the storm past here and I can take all the stuff back outside, we'll have more shop space because we got rid of another differential. So that's kind of my story for Hurricane Florence for right now. If anything else comes up, we'll let you guys know. So like I said, keep your thoughts and prayers for the people in the Carolinas, because this storm has been damaging the heck out of both states, and it might do some damage the further north it goes. I think it's supposed to go through Tennessee, Virginia, Pennsylvania, and I know Pennsylvania's already been waterlogged with a bunch of floods this summer, so hope they don't get hit again, but they probably will. So just keep everyone in your thoughts. So if you guys like the video, give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. Also hit that bell notification button, that way you know when I upload new content. And also, if you want to help support the channel, click the links below. Thanks guys, have a great one.